Saturday, July 20th, the Southern Iowa Fair welcomes Eddie Montgomery of Montgomery Gentry, along with special guest Dylan Carmichael and area favorites, The Boys. Tickets in advance are $40. Get your tickets at sifonlinestore.com. For more information, stop by the fair office at 615 North I Street in Oskaloosa or call 641-673-7004. It's Eddie Montgomery of Montgomery Gentry headlining the Southern Iowa Fair concert on Saturday, July 20th. Doors open at 6:30. Start time is at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $45 the day of the show. The Union Mills Community Closet presents Christmas in July fundraiser dinner, July 27th, starting at 5 p.m. at Bradbury Hall, Nelson Pioneer Farm, Oskaloosa. Serving a catered dinner of chicken cordon bleu or savory sliced beef. Call 641-200-1940 or look for Union Mills Community Closet on Facebook to purchase your tickets. Tickets are $30 or $240 to reserve an entire table. All proceeds directly benefit Union Mills Community Christmas Toy Drive. It's the Christmas in July fundraiser dinner, July 27th at Bradbury Hall, Nelson Pioneer Farm. The Delta Fireman's Ball is Saturday, July 27th. You can enjoy food, live music, games, and more. There will be a poker run from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Keith Davis will be playing music from 6 to 9 p.m. For more information on the Delta Fireman's Ball, contact Jim or Fake Harry at 319-212-8772. The Delta Fireman's Ball is coming up Saturday, July 27th. Don't miss it. Keokuk County Expo 2024 Stars, Stripes, and Summer Nights is the place to be in July. Things start off with a bang on Monday, July 15th with Rogue Rodeo at 7:30 p.m. On Thursday, July 18th is the Keokuk County Expo Queen Contest and the Bill Riley Talent Search. On Friday, Tyler Richardson and the High Bank Boys will be in concert starting at 7:30 p.m. And then on Saturday, it's the Figure 8 races at the Keokuk County Expo. Bring the family, have a great time, and enjoy the fair at the Keokuk County Expo in Sigourney.
Good evening. Welcome to this edition of Morgan You Asked For podcast. Be a little shorter episode solo tonight. Trevor is in Phoenix this week, and I am leaving on vacation tomorrow. So this is Monday night, July 15th, about 10:30. Just got done watching the Home Run Derby. Didn't watch all of it, watched most of it. Teoscar Hernandez beat from the Dodgers, beat Bobby Witt Jr. from the Royals in a great match to end it. Bobby Witt Jr. had a home run that just short, a couple feet hit off the wall to tie it. But Hernandez from the Dodgers does win the Home Run Derby this year. First Dodger player to win the Derby is what I heard on SportsCenter after the game. All-Star break is here. The Orioles, the Yankees, the Guardians, top of the American League, Phillies, really close, or not really that close, but head and shoulders above everybody in the National League. Dodgers are there as well, but definitely those are the top teams coming in to the All-Star break. Coming in after the All-Star break, trade talks will start happening. Who are sellers? Who are buyers? Teams have to make decisions. Is there a team that's 6-7 games back in a division that wins 5 straight coming out? Decide to buy. Team that loses 4, 5, 6 in a row, do they decide to sell? That's always the interesting time right around trade deadline for baseball, is who's winning, who's leaving, right, who's losing right at that time that helps them make that decision. The National League has, even the Cubs are only about 3.5, 4 games back of the last wild card spot. So that last wild card spot is working. Most teams are in play. A lot of teams the Cubs have to jump over, but They aren't that many games back. They're playing a little bit better. They're going to have some decisions to make coming forward in the next few weeks there, if they want to add or if they're going to trade away some pieces. Then the other thing I was watching when I was not watching the Derby night was Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont softball. Congratulations to them going to the state tournament. Head coach Tony Fenton, good friend of mine. Always, like watching them play. I've umpired many of their games. Also, referee basketball, or Tony's also the girls basketball coach. And it's a lot of the same girls that are on those teams. They're real successful right now. They've got a good group of athletes in both basketball, volleyball, and softball. So that is another state trip for that group of girls in another sport. Tony's been there a few times, but it's been a few years since he's been there. So congrats to them. I've spent this last, Saturday, Sunday, and then today at the state baseball, USSSA tournament in Des Moines. Of course, it had to be the hottest weekend of the year. 2 games Saturday, 1 and 5, so right in the heat of the day there. Not as bad Saturday. Yesterday, we played at 8 a.m. and then at noon. So that wasn't horrible, but definitely that noon game was very, very hot. They do a good job, different parks. The only thing, we played at Triumph Park there right by Waukee Northwest High School. It is hard for some of these kids. They're 11 years old and they're playing on a high school field, 280 feet, lots of foul ground, just a really big field for them to play on. And you can say what you want and whatever there, but it is a little bit more fun to play on fields that are scaled to their age group and with a chance for home runs and different plays that just aren't able to be made in big fields. Obviously, if a ball gets by on first base, you can almost guarantee 2 bases there with the big foul ground area. And then there's, several kids this weekend, both our team and other teams, would have hit home runs at a normal field or even maybe just a little bit shorter field. And obviously 280, feet field for an 11-year-old just not going to happen. Had a kid today from the team we did lose today in the semifinals. He hit it and it rolled to the wall. So, he hit a shot, but unfortunately, obviously he got a triple out of it. So, it wasn't all bad there, but you want to see those kids rewarded, and home runs are part of the game much more now than they've ever been. And you want to see those kids rewarded when they hit it well. So, but overall, great. That's a great facility. This is our first time we played at Triumph. I'd been there before, and actually Atumo played baseball there tonight at Northwest High School, just right across the street there, and did get beat. I believe 9-2 was the final, in a pretty good game. Got out of hand there in the 6th inning, but pretty good game overall. Good job, Bulldogs and Coach Yeager there. The next was Caitlin Clark playing closest to home up in Minnesota this weekend against the Lynx. The Lynx have been one of the better teams in the league, playing really well. Caitlin Clark and the Fever go up and win and play well, and a good comeback. And, several of her teammates played really good games. Kind of her highlight, and it's kind of is a great crossover and get to the basket layup against Bridget Carlton, former Iowa State Cyclone, current Lynx player. I think she had 17 points. She had 5 threes, playing really, really well right now. We'll be playing for Team Canada in the Olympics coming up. And as of today, they are 7th in the league, the Indiana Fever. So they would make the playoffs today. So they're kind of holding their own there. But, they beat a couple teams here in the last, 10 days or so that are winning records, which had been something they'd kind of struggled with. Now, they did kind of have a bad loss to, I believe it was the Washington Mystics, who aren't a good team. But 2 good wins there. And you just got to keep pace. You got to win the ones you're supposed to win, and hopefully you can get 1 or 2 that maybe you're not supposed to win on paper. One more game for most of the WNBA before the Olympic break. July 20th, so 5 days from now, I believe, is the WNBA All-Star team versus the Olympic team. And I believe that game will draw more people to watch than any of the Olympic games, because it is going to be Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and other WNBA All-Stars that are not on the Olympic team against the Olympic team. So everybody's going to want to watch Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and how they interact together on the same team. Because going forward, they're going to be on all-star teams together. They're going to be on, USA teams together. And there's a lot of, angst. And if you go to Twitter, some people are saying Angel Reese is the rookie of the year. Then others are saying Caitlin Clark. And there's no middle ground, and it's cut or dry either way. They're both playing great, and there's still half the season left. We'll see where it goes. But those two individually and in public, now they can feel however they want about each other privately, but in public, they both said and done the right things with each other for the most part. I mean, they're young. Do they say everything correctly all the time? Absolutely not. No one does. There's many times I say things I probably shouldn't, or you'd want to have back after you said it. But the WNBA is, the trajectory is just skyrocketing, and be interesting to see the metrics of the game July 20th versus the Olympic Games. And as Trev and I have talked many times, I still cannot believe that NBC did not step in and say she is on the team just for TV. But maybe that's not how it works, and I'm just thinking too much into it. And then, kind of the last thing here, I didn't know this really happened with obviously the game. We had baseball games at 1 and 5, so, right during the time. But with former President Trump being shot at and a hit in the ear, which is unbelievable luck, craziness, however you want to say it, that it missed his head but got his ear. And then just the lasting images that you've seen on TV of, the Secret Service around him, and he's raising his fist. Whether you're for or against, it doesn't matter. This stuff should not happen in America. We have the best trained, military, police, Secret Service, and essentially unlimited funds to do what needs to be done in those situations. So, and I know they're doing an investigation, and I haven't watched every minute of this, but something was missed, obviously. And hopefully they learn from this, because I don't care if it's President Trump, President Biden, anybody else that's running now, that Vice President Harris, or the new vice president candidate that Donald Trump announced today, J.D. Vance. I'll be honest, I don't even know who he is, where he's from, whatever. But those people are trying to do their best to help this country the way they think that it should be run. And they can argue how they think it should be. Everybody has different views, and that's perfectly fine. That's what this country is built on, and it should continue that way. And they should not be worried about the safety of themselves and their families and other. Unfortunately, there are crazy people in this world that do crazy things, and there needs to just be extra steps taken, especially from now forward. It'll be interesting to see how this race does change. President Biden went on and said, the temperature needs to be cooled down. Absolutely it does. President Trump is going to speak this week in Milwaukee at the Republican convention. And he's they've let out that he ripped up his speech and has a whole new speech because of what happened. And absolutely, things changed on Saturday night. Good, bad, however you want to look at it, doesn't matter. But things changed, hopefully for the better. You can argue the record and their views and everything, but it gets pretty personal right now, and that's not great. And it needs to just be about record and views and how they think the country should be going forward. And then we as Americans, vote for whoever you want to. And then whoever wins. And then they will be the president for the next 40 years, and then we move on from there. But the Secret Service, the authorities, or whoever was in charge there have some answers that need to be found. And hopefully going forward, they learn from this and become much better. So, and again, I know this is a short one, solo. It is kind of there's not a lot of sports going on. It's the WNBA. It's the All-Star break, so it's just the Home Run Derby. There's no games tonight. Summer League is going on. Team USA basketball did play Australia today, and they struggled. 98-92 win. And Australia, I just was watching Sports Center here. Australia was in the paint a lot. And I think that is one of the issues Embiid or Anthony Davis or any of the others on that team need to step up. And also they just got to learn to play together. They're all superstars, and they're used to being the man or maybe even the second man, and now they might be the fifth guy. And they got to learn their roles, and Coach Kerr has to get them all to buy in. And they will, and I don't think it'll be an issue, but that's why you have these practice games or warm-up games, whatever you want to say, call them. And looking forward to the Olympics coming up. I'm going up to Wisconsin this week on Lake Superior and kind of get away and enjoy it. I'll be back next Wednesday. So even next week, it might be we'll get a podcast out for sure, but not exactly I don't know exactly when it will be out. So again, thank you to Steve Shetler. Thank you to everybody that tunes in, listen, rate, review, whatever podcast player you listen to, or put a comment on Steve Shetler's page when it goes up. We really appreciate those, and thanks for listening. Thanks for always tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week.